In this deep dive learning, I'm going to share with you why it's so important that you understand the loan to values that short-term lenders will actually lend you the money on and how much capital you can actually raise. And one of the biggest mistakes that investors make and developers make is that they find when it comes to short-term finance, they're left with a remit of having to fund the extra amount of money where the lender has left them short in terms of how much they've lent them. So really important that you know this. So let's discuss this right now. So typically a short-term finance lender will be in the region of anywhere between 60 to 75%. That's usually where the normal short-term finance lending really stands. So that is for a property which might seem like it's unmortgageable. You'll get that type of funding there. That could be for a property where you're looking to develop. That's the type of funding you get, or for a commercial conversion. That's typically the remit. That's typical. However, there are exceptional lenders that will take a higher value. So when it comes to residential types of properties, you will find that you are able to raise with the right type of short-term financier, in my experience, anywhere between 70 to 80%. And yes, you heard me quite right, anywhere between 70 to 80%. So quite high loan to values. I hope you're enjoying these insights. Now, I'd love to hear your comments as well. You can click on that bell icon, get the latest notifications. Even I've worked out where that one is. And you can also subscribe to the channel. I'm doing a number of videos like this, informative, to help you to move forward in your property journey. Now, when it comes to properties that are sitting on land where the property is pretty much derelict, so if you imagine you're looking through the roof and there is no tiles on the roof, you can see straight into the sky, or there's a tree growing inside a commercial unit. Yes, I've bought some of these as well, great deals by the way. But what you will find is that the short-term lender will value that property not really on the bricks and mortar of the property, but they'll actually give you a land value, even though there's a structure on that land. And typically when it comes to short-term financiers, you're getting around 50% of the purchase price of that property because they're really assessing land value. Something to be aware of. Now, when it comes to land itself, there's a bit of a myth when it comes to loan to values because many investors will say that you can get 50% loan to value, but that's not always the case. The underwriters will assess the risk on those scenarios, and depending on the land, if it's a brownfield site, there's a precedent set on either side of that land, well then there's a piece of land you are likely to get 50%. However, if it's a piece of land that's extending and protruding on, let's say, the end of a parade, for example, it's a piece of land that's separated out from other residential types of units, and there is no planning on those units, then you might struggle for lending from short-term financiers. So when you're going into auctions with auction finance, when you're going into these types of deals, really important to be aware of the type of project that you're getting into to understand the loan to values that you will actually be able to achieve. Now, when it comes to commercial types of properties, so shops and uppers, for example, or offices, these types of properties, or even industrial units, if that's you, well, then you will find that your loan to values are really going to maximize at the 70% level, 70% of purchase price. Now, by keeping this in mind, I hope for you that you are able to secure your funding in the right way for the right type of project, and you'll have all the money that you need.